I don't know about you, but after watching the Superman teaser a bunch of times, Superman just might be one of the greatest comic book movies of all time. Hey, I know that's a hefty statement, but just walk with me, walk with me. You can go check out my reaction on the channel, but now I just want to give my in-depth thoughts about it. So that's what I'm doing. But I'm not just going to go through the trailer frame by frame, breaking it down. I am going to do that, but also I've been reading a lot of articles with the cast and director James Gunn, giving their insights to the characters in the movie. I don't know. This has potential to be something amazing. So as I go through the trailer, I'm just going to sprinkle in what I've been reading. Now, before we get into the breakdown, I want to talk about the numbers that the teaser trailer brought in and just overall reception. Now, I'm not saying numbers are everything or it indicates the quality of the film. So we got the teaser coming in being the 5th biggest trailer of all time. And it's also the biggest DC trailer debut of all time. I think what's impressive about this is it shows that how much the general audience wants a Superman movie. Literally, people in my real life that I really didn't think kept up with superhero stuff was asking me if I seen the Superman trailer. When I saw this trailer when I was watching Sonic 3, kids literally screamed out, "Superman?" I legit have not seen that type of reaction to a superhero trailer in the theaters before. And on top of that, I was genuinely hoping that the Superman trailer played ahead of Sonic 3, which is kind of weird for me because even if it's a big trailer for a superhero movie I really want to see, like No Way Home, Deadpool and Wolverine, Endgame, I'm still satisfied watching it on my computer or phone. But for this, I just needed to see it on the big screen. I don't know, bro. The air around this movie just feels different. But let's get into the trailer though. I've legit probably watched this like 10 times. All right, so we're gonna get Superman falling in, crashing, crash landing, hitting the Yamcha pose. Nasty spill. Boy got Yamcha'd. Okay, what I find really cool about this is that we get this trailer and it opens on Superman hurt. It opens on him bloodied. It opens on him wheezing. Like, he is tore up from the floor up, you feel me? But I just feel like that's a really good way to introduce Superman back into the general audience. We see him in a vulnerable state. I feel like in a way, it instantly shatters people's perspective on the Man of Steel. I think it really humanizes him. It puts aside the narrative that he's boring or just above it all. It instantly makes you start asking questions. Who did this to him? Who's strong enough to do Superman like this? What I really like about this shot here, and someone pointed this out on Twitter, but I just really like how he's so much taller than everyone. I really like how he's just clumsily bumping into people and whatnot. Like, he's just so battered and bloody. Hold on, let me go back a second, because you could see it better when when Crypto comes, but you can see the tear in the corner of his eye. And it's just I just really like how we see this Superman so vulnerable. And yeah, I like when Superman's overpowered and he's just the strongest guy in the room, but sometimes he gets his ass beat. Even the text that they're using here, the shine on it just reminds me of the old Superman movies. You can tell, and I'll be getting into it in a bit, but you can just tell from top to bottom, even the people who made this graphic or whatever, they get it. They get it from, bro. Oh my gosh, bro. This shit it just gives me joy. Genuine joy, bro. But James Gunn said he didn't know if he wanted to use the 78 movie score, but then he realized that it was so tied to the character. So he brought in John Murphy, who worked on Guardians 3 and the Suicide Squad score. Say that 3 times fast. Suicide Squad score. I can't even do it. Suicide Squad score. Suicide Squad score. Suicide Squad score. And so James Gunn wanted to work with John Murphy to make their own version of the theme. And it also says in the article that he brought in John Murphy pretty early on, which I didn't know is unusual for movies. But I think that just also shows the preparation that's going into this movie. I really love a good score. That could take a movie a couple points up for me. And James Gunn also said something interesting about the music in this movie. He's known for his soundtrack and needle drops. But when this movie was first announced and we learned that he was doing it, that was one of my biggest fears going into the movie. I just really don't think the way a soundtrack's used in his movies, like in Guardians, would fit a Superman movie. And luckily, James Gunn agrees. But James Gunn says there's nods to Williams, and then also John Murphy's created this incredibly beautiful score. But the one thing is a score. It's not a soundtrack. So it's not about the songs. There's a few songs in it. And of course I chose those songs beforehand, but it isn't like any of my previous movies. Really, in terms of the score is what drives it. It is much, much more of a score film. That's very reassuring, brother. All right, back in the trailer. I want to talk about we're getting like a Christopher Reeves kind of different posture Clark Kent versus Superman stature here, and I'm really loving it. And then I also, someone pointed out on Twitter, is like how baggy Clark's suit is, you know, and just it, bro. I am ecstatic. I'm ecstatic. Just look at the look how he's literally swimming in this shit. It's so funny. Rachel Bronson, we'll get to her. But I just love his meekness. He's just so unassuming, bro. You don't, out of all the Supermen that I've seen, and the Clark Kent versus Superman looks so different. Any other actor, you can obviously tell, like, you know, not using end universe logic, you can clearly tell that is the same person. But just with his broccoli top curly hair and just his stature and his physical performance, it really sells the Clark Kent isn't Superman vibe. It's just good work, and we've barely seen anything yet. So I just really want to know how this goes further in their demeanor, in their speech, you know. It's just there's a lot I want to see, really, truly. But speaking of Clark versus Superman, I think it's a good time to dive into what James Gunn and David Cornsweet, the actor playing Superman, think about Superman versus Clark Kent. James Gunn, he says it's not just Clark, it's not just Superman, it's Clark/Superman. And the only people that know Clark/Superman are his mom and his dad and a few others who know who he is, and those are very different things. People said all sorts of different things. They said Clark's the real one, they said Superman's the real one, and Clark's the secret identity, but I don't, and it says in my script on the second page, I don't believe either of those things. I don't think anybody knows Superman unless they know both of them, and when they know both of him, they know the real guy, and that means not too many people. For me, bro, this ideology and the understanding of Superman. Let me back it up a bit. I'm not gonna act like I'm some authoritarian figure and know everything Superman, but I feel like I have a good grip on the basics, and I feel like this is a very healthy mindset on the character of Clark Kent and Superman. You know, he's in the middle. He embraces his upbringing on Earth, but he embraces his Kryptonian heritage. And bro, it's just so refreshing to see a director so in love with the source material, and then on top of him being someone that is calling the shots. And so you're not getting. I'm pretty sure there's some, but you're not getting much studio interference and pushback on his own thought process of the character. And you can agree or disagree, but I think that's a very healthy outlook on Clark and Superman. And what I found really interesting about reading these articles is James Gunn made David Cornsweet audition as Superman and Clark. I feel like that really speaks to the difference that we're going to see in the characters. It's really great to see how much David Cornsweet gets Superman. He says, I was always cut out of the drama when I was in school. I never felt like I knew the exciting, juicy gossip that was going on. And for that reason, I always saw people as the best versions of themselves. I don't think in a terrible, naive way. A lot of people consider Superman to be a naive character. And it really is just a blindness to the little imperfections and the silly little things that we get caught up with as people. I tend to miss those, and I think Superman misses those. And that's what keeps him steadfastly and determinedly looking at the good and the hopeful. I just love that from him so much and what he's gonna bring to the performance. They also say in this article that David Cornsweet took physical inspiration from his 6'8", 270-pound brother-in-law. David Cornsweet, he said he has the deepest voice and is always in the way and always trying not to be. And we kind of get that vibe as he's walking through the crowd, bumping into people. It's like you can see in his physical performance, like he's trying to duck away and just be this meek little guy, you know? But bro, you're fucking like 6'5", 250. Okay, this is when I knew that this was gonna be different. Just, it's hard to explain what I feel from this. I don't know what's going on in this scene, but you just feel a sense of desperateness coming from Corn Sweat. Like the way he's gripping Pa Kent, it's like I don't know what he just told him. Like he's gonna die or some shit. Like he has. Whoa, hold on now. Hold on now. In the 78 movie, Pa Kent dies from a heart attack, right? And that's kind of like teaches Clark the lesson that even with all his powers, he can't save everyone. So what if that's what's going on here, you know? There's a desperateness to this. And I think right here when I was watching in the reaction, this was like, whoa. We might be in for a banger, my boy. We might be in for a banger. And I just like locked in from that point, you know? But I'm really excited to see Pa Kent. I love when both his parents are alive. I mean, I mean I'm not tied to any iteration like if Pa Kent dies or if they're both dead or whatever the case, but I just really like Superman having a guiding light, and I guess it makes it more impactful when it eventually gets taken away. But just having a guiding light on Earth and like his Kryptonian heritage, he doesn't really have, you know, a live figure to connect with that, you know. Jeez. Until probably, you know, Kara comes along. And are we getting like some holograms of Jor-El? I don't think I've seen casting for Jor-El. That could be under wraps, but I don't think I've seen anything on that. So are we even gonna see him in this? And I know this is skipping origin pretty much. Like I think he's like in year 3. But yeah, I just really like when he has just like a guiding light. It's just so sweet to me, and it's so endearing when just seeing, you know, Superman just do some crazy off the wall fucking shit, like uppercut a dude to the sun, and then he comes home and he's just like, "Hey ma, hey dad," like, you know, just super down to earth. I just love that so much, and obviously you can get that in other avenues and through other characters and whatnot, his supporting characters. But it's just, I just love Ma and Pa Kent. Just like this shot, bro. This shot, I'm loving it. I'm loving it, bro. It just looks so, for lack of a better term, cinematic, you know, and just through not even knowing what the context is, I just already feel connected with this scene. And maybe Holy Glaze, but I don't know, bro. I just wanted a bright, colorful, hopeful Superman movie. And I like Man of Steel. Don't get me wrong. I definitely have my problems, but I like Man of Steel. I feel like it's as very I'll get to the action and stuff about Man of Steel and how it compares to this and stuff. But that movie's just really dark. Not like dark, but it's very brooding. It's very moody, and not in the way that, you know, I would want from a Superman movie. But it just didn't have that overall, because there are some scenes I just didn't feel inspired by that movie, you know, or inspired by Superman's character or Clark's character. I just didn't feel like he just carried in the character itself, carried a hopefulness. Like I felt the hopefulness through the imagery and through the score. That was like pulling on my heartstrings. But from the character itself, I just really didn't get that. And I'm not saying that, oh, he doesn't do this or do that. It's just the overall tone of the movie just didn't really. And again, there's moments, but just the overall just didn't give me that. Just, bro, the guitar just going fucking crazy. Yeah, so you can see his tear in this a little bit more. I'm gonna get back to the tone in a minute because James Gunn did say some stuff about that. I'm just trying to avoid just going through this trailer and then at the end of the trailer, I just have a bunch of articles that I'm reading off robotically. Like I'm trying to interject them organically, and this is my first time doing something like this, so it might be ass, but hey, stick with me. We get better. Oh man. So when I went over the set photos, I was really hoped, because the set photos, Superman is very, his suit pops, like without, you know, color grading or whatever the case, just a random bystander hiding in the bushes taking a picture. You just saw the colors pop on the suit, and they're still popping. They're still popping. I just really, bro, I wasn't 100% sold on the suit. My favorite suit, Superman suit, is The Brandon Routh Kingdom Come suit. I think that is the best Superman suit. It just has that campy look to it, but then it also looks super convincing. It just that suits Chef Kiffs. I wanted something like that for this iteration of Superman, and so when we do see the suit, when with the set photos and whatnot, in the first look, why was the first look that or whatever? But yeah, the first look for this suit was weird, but it just really wasn't convincing to me. I just really didn't like the lines and stuff, but this suit has really grown on me. But I really like the colors on it. And when we got that first look, you didn't really see the colors at all because he was damaged and whatnot, which was again a weird look. I don't know why it wasn't when the before this teaser came out. They had a really really good poster. I don't know why that wasn't the first look. Yeah, it's just so baffling to me to this day. But yeah, you do see his tear, and I just again the vulnerability that we're seeing in this teaser is just so great, and not even from just him, because at one point Lex Luthor is about to shed a tear too, and so, bro, it makes you feel the passion in these characters, and I'm not even saying like from the actors, but from their situation, like for specifically talking about Lex, like whatever he's doing, he believes in it so much it's bringing Lex Luthor to a tear, and it's like, and just seeing him vulnerable in that way and seeing like what happened to Superman right here. He's wheezing, he's battered, he's bleeding from his mouth, he's telling Krypto to drag him home, he's shedding a tear, so he's broken morally in some sense, not just physically. He's at a low point, and it's just so cool. And James Gunn, he mentioned like that is kind of the way he sees the country and stuff, and then like how that like parallels to that. Like this movie is just needed, and I have not felt that way about a movie like ever. Just the aura around this movie, the vibes around this movie are just different, bro. They're different. So we get our first look at Krypto. And so hold on. I just love, oh my gosh, bro. Wait, Krypto has, hold on, we'll see him in a second. Krypto has laser vision, right? Or we see, let me go back a little bit. Krypto even has a little, he has the, what's it called? Hold on. I'm trying to get when he first jumps into frame, because you see it for a brief second. He has you could see a little bit here. You could, if I go back one frame, you could see it more clear, but he has a little yellow symbol on his freaking cape. I just think that's a really cool detail. And they didn't have to do that. Like I would have been fine with it being a, what's it called? Just a red cape, but it just, he's matching his owner, he's matching his owner. I just think that's really cute, honestly. But let me get on Krypto for a second, because this is our first time seeing Krypto in live action, and when I was growing up, I loved that Krypto Kids show. Bro, I love Krypto so much, and we haven't seen him in live action movie, because isn't he in Titans? I think Krypto is in Titans. So it's our first time seeing him in a live action movie, and Krypto has laser vision, right? That's so. We'll get to when I get to the action, but yeah, I think Krypto has laser vision. I just want I want to see him mess up some stuff. I want to see him wreck some stuff. But here's what James Gunn says about Krypto. Superman's relationship with Krypto is complicated. He's not nearly the best dog you've seen. There's a lot more of Krypto than you see in this trailer. But yeah, I also thought that it was a way to say that, yes, we're embracing all of Superman's mythology. So it seems like Krypto's just not going to be like the best dog ever. He's going to, it makes me, him saying that, it makes me feel like Krypto is gonna have a lot of personality in this, which is I'm really really looking forward to. Like he's not just go over there, go do that, go over there, do that. Like he has his own. He's really intelligent as a dog. Well, yeah. Well, he's more intelligent than a regular dog, but he has his own. He has his own things going on, So it's gonna be really really interesting to see how he doesn't exactly listen and does his own thing. But also, this version of Krypto is because I personally like the White Lab, Krypto. And so when I seen that this was the Krypto, I wasn't I wasn't like that ecstatic for it, but it's grown to me a lot. And also, I guess this is literally based off of uh, James Gunn's real dog in real life, and so I think in one of the articles, I don't feel like digging for it, but they've used footage from James Gunn's phone of just his dog just palling around, I guess, and to get the vibe for crypto. So that's really, really cool. And then also like this more scruffy, what is this, like a Jack Terrier? I don't know my dog breeds, but this more scruffy look is actually in the comics. Like he wasn't always a lab, which I didn't know, but he has been, and I think this was way, way early. He has been this like little scruffier, scrappy dog. So, but like I said, I prefer the Labrador, but I'm really, really excited to see crypto in this movie and just see what he get up with the hijinks that crypto gets up to. I know some behind the scenes stuff that insinuates some things that he may do in the movie, but I won't bring that up. I'll let you guys just, experience that, but I'm very, very excited for that. So this is the only words that not crypto, Superman speaks in the trailer. He says crypto home, and that's literally, I've seen multiple points of people saying that's very, very in a sense of a Spider-Man homecoming sense. Like he's coming back home. We're getting, again, I'm not shitting on, the Snyderverse or whatever, but we're getting proper Superman. We're getting proper Supes. He's back in action. He's back in action. Like I said, I'm not like I didn't grow up the biggest Superman fan. Like I always thought he was cool. Like he's OP. Like who's not gonna like him? But I was more of a Batman guy. But over the last couple of years and just really getting into his material and whatnot and seeing various iterations, he's really, really has grown on me and has worked his way up to my top superhero spot. Like I really, really love Superman now. Bro, this shot, there was like someone put a GIF up or whatever of like HD of this shot of Superman saving this girl. And bro, I can't stop watching it. That's I said I wanted a bright and colorful Superman movie, but with modern effects, bro. Modern effects. And that's where I tip my hat off to Zack Snyder, bro. His Superman action was top tier, bro. Punching people through the sky and the way it was like tracking, just just everything about Zack Snyder's, the way he showed Superman's actions was just, I loved it so much, bro. And getting a mixture of that, because James Gunn also said that he has taken inspiration from all parts of DC. Zack Snyder, the 78 movie, comics. Like he's pulling from different things and taking what he needs to make this action or this movie one of the again, it's early. I could be wrong, but this has potential to be one of the greatest Superman movie of all time. And I think that's really a big deal because my dad showed me the 78 movie and that was Superman to me. Like that was staple Superman. It doesn't matter where you go, like as in you see the Zack Snyder, Man of Steel, Justice League, BVS, it's very divisive, but people agree that 78 Superman, that is Superman. And that's what that was when my dad was a kid and he seen that was Superman to him, And so this movie can be that movie for the newer generation, and just, bro, I keep saying it, bro, but the vibes around this movie are different. And again, oh my gosh, hearkening back to when I was seeing Sonic 3 in this movie played in, for the trailer, kids were Superman? Like, I've never heard that. Not when the new Spider-Man trailer came up. And again, what's really interesting about that, hold on. Bro. But the action though, the action in this is I feel like gonna be crazy. We don't even see his laser vision. And we don't see his freeze breath or we don't see any of that. We don't see his X-ray vision. So I'm really interested to see how that's going to look in this movie. And I really love the way it looks in Man of Steel. Just that you can feel it coming from Superman's this core in his body and flowing through him, and just the unfiltered rawness to it and the destructive power of it. But then that also makes me want to, because he can do different levels of intensity. Like he can make that shit fucking disintegrate a whole army, or he can make it pinpoint accurate to cut something out, you know? And so we didn't see that different levels of his lasers in, you know, in the Zack Snyderverse, but I hope we get something like that. I really do. I want to see different intensities of his laser vision, and just how X-ray vision is going to look. Is it going to be, I really like, again, I love pretty much everything Zack Snyder did with Superman's powers in Man of Steel. And so how is that going to look different? You know, how are they going to portray his super hearing? How is this his freeze breath? How is that going to look? I'm just very excited for all of that. And then also, well, I'll talk about it when we get to the flight sections, but that shot is just so good. Bro. Lex, bro, this shot just gives pure hater energy, and I love it so much, bro. You see the envy on Lex's face, bro. Superman just doing his thing, fly by, just instantly turns like he instantly turns, bro. Just, oh my gosh, like this alien fuck. He's on a call with him. He's like, he just flew by my window. Like that, you could tell that just ruined his whole day just seeing that. It's so funny is how often Lex probably sees Superman fly around Metropolis from his giant tower. And on the tower, I love the way LexCorp, Luthor Corp looks. Like it has it. I mean, we don't get a full shot, but it already looks grandiose. And I didn't really talk about the Daily Planet, but we're already getting some identity with Metropolis. Like it's not just another city. Like it could be anywhere. And I think, and that's what I really like about the Batman is, you know, compared to what came before it in the Nolan movies, which, you know, I love a lot, but Gotham had a personality to it, you know? And you could say that about, you know, the old Batman movies as well. There was a distinct style to it. And it needs to have that, because and it's probably less so, you know, when we get to the like other character cities and whatnot, but Gotham, that's a character. Metropolis and its people, you know, Gotham and its people, those are characters. Like the city itself is a character, and it needs to have the iconic imagery and structures to sell that. And that's what I'll get. That's why I really like, you know, Superman's confrontation with the brief confrontation that we see with the people of Metropolis and them being mad at him for whatever reason, which we'll speculate when we get to that. But we also see the engineer. She's like barely visible. We see the engineer. I just love this shot. So I can like, oh my gosh, bro. Nicholas Hoult on Lex. I'm gonna get back to him when we get to, there's an image when he looks super mad, but he's perfect for the role, I think. Perfect in the sense of acting wise, and I'll get back to it. But yeah, we see the engineer. Just look at him. This shot, bro. I don't know what I want to talk about first. Do I want to talk about Lex, or do I want to get into the shot? Because there's a whole camera work thing I'm gonna get into. Let's talk about Lex first. Like, look at this man. Before I get into how much I think he's perfect, the one thing I don't love about Nicholas Hoult as Lex is I don't think he's as opposing as I see Lex in my mind. Of course, what I think, who fucking cares? But just for me, I just really see Lex like he's peak human. He's peak human, brains and brawn. Like he has the stature of a man who fucking can bench press 400 pounds, but he has the brain of someone that can outsmart Superman, you know? And so I don't think he's as physically opposing as I would like my Lex, but he's just so perfect for Lex because Nicholas Hoult, he went for the Batman, Bruce Wayne, and he lost to Robert Pattinson. And he went for Superman, and he lost to David Cornsweet. He went for Lex, and he got it. So, I don't think he carries this in his real life, but I just feel like there's a there's a bitterness that is there. And I'm not saying he's bitter. Maybe he is, maybe isn't. I don't know. But it's just I just love the implication of that. But I just love this look that he has on his face. Like he has tears welling up, or he might have dropped one right here, but he has tears welling up in his eyes. And just again, it shows the passion and raw emotion of Lex Luthor. Like I don't know what's going on in the scene, but he hates Superman so much it could possibly bring him to tears. It's just I just love that so much. But let me get into what Nicholas Hoult's take on Lex. Obviously, he's smart and ruthless, and he has to outmaneuver Superman on certain levels because he can't match him in others. But there's also something about this character, hopefully from my standpoint, where even though you perhaps don't agree with his process, you can understand where he's coming from and why what he's pushing as his ideology is perhaps better for humanity. So I'm not saying that we're gonna have maybe he might get humanized, but I hope that from his perspective, we really see why he's getting up to his nefarious acts, why that really drives him. I'm sure we will, but bro, I'm just so excited. And it just, again, I'll get to Rachel Bronson on her take on Lois Lane, but it just, everyone involved just, they just seem like they understand. They seem like they just understand. And again, that for other cases, and we've seen that from other actors before, we've seen that from other directors from before, but in this case, I feel like it's special because there's no way that this understanding of the characters get lost in translation, Just because someone's a director doesn't mean they're calling final shots on, the movie, the studio interference and whatever the case. But James Gunn is literally the head of DC movies and shows and whatnot. So there's no way that this passion for these characters gets lost in translation, And this movie is going to be special, man. I'm telling you. And if it's not, I might do something drastic. So this is from James Gunn. So apparently this is the first time that Superman clashes with Lex. And like he knows of him, but this is the first confrontation between the two. So we'll be seeing that for the first time. So that's going to be really exciting. But what really has me exciting for this character is what James Gunn says. He says this version of Lex is heavily inspired by the one seen in the comic All-Star Superman. Lex is really sort of a sorcerer in a way. He's a scientist, but he's so good at science, and I think of him like a sorcerer. So it just, oh my gosh, bro. Oh, where'd I go from there? Like, there's just so much coming in my mind. Like, we're gonna see. I want to see Lex whip up some quick gadgets and just on some Doom level stuff. I'm not like Doom is like literally a tech guy and a sorcerer, but just like I just don't know how to express it, bro. It's just I want to see some cold shit from Lex Luthor. It's just that statement just makes me so interested in to see what makes James Gunn say that about this Lex. Like, he's going to be damn near a magician with the science. So we'll see what that looks like. That just really, really excites me. All right, back to where we were. Lex giving pure hater energy. This. So what could be going on here? Because Lex has a very interesting expression. He's looks like he's tormenting. He's like, he has this face that's like, I won't. Like, I won't push this man's wig back. I won't put a bullet in his skull. Like, it looks like someone's testing him. And I promise you, Lex Luthor will pass that test. So yeah. Oh, he has like a little ring on his finger. I didn't really notice that. I don't think that's anything significant. But we see Superman, I think right after this shot, he's like in a glass cage and there's other possibly metahumans around him. It seems like this is that situation going on. So what was going on here? Is this a illegal prison that Lex set up and he's keeping metahumans? Is this something collabing with the government? Is this what is going on here? But I just really love this expression from him. But I can't wait to see this in motion, bro. This shot, this shot right here, bro. I saw it when I first watched it, but it's hard for me to see it now. Is when Superman shifts his foot. Let me slow the speed down. For Superman to be put in this cage, did he get depowered? Is a kryptonite situation, and then he has enough strength to break out? So, or did he let them capture him so you could see what was going on? But whoever he's about to pop out on is gonna have a rude awakening, or he might just get folded. That would be funny. But just hold on. Let's get into the camera work on this, bro. The way it just like pulls back when he shifts his foot. Oh my gosh, bro. That is just so good. And I didn't have the technical knowledge on why I thought that was so cool. This could possibly give some insight on why this looks so cool. And so this person, Hala on Twitter, Hala's back. She said, I just noticed that they changed the lens from a 16 millimeter to an 18 millimeter and then a 21 millimeter in the middle of shooting while moving the camera itself. I've seen a lot of it. I think that is the technical reason why this shot's so cool. There's a lot going on with the camera work, the movement, lenses, like that stuff is kind of beyond me. I just know what I like to see, and I like to see this. So I've seen some criticisms of the way this movie looks, and because this is a cinematographer from Flash, and he's worked with James Gunn before. I'm pretty sure on Guardians 3 and the Suicide Squad, but I've seen some, like, he has this, again, this is not my field, but he has like these wider looking shots in the Flash. It looked good for the most part, but I think combined with the terrible CGI, it kind of just looked wonky. But with the CGI with this movie doesn't come out until July, and there's a couple shots. I'll get to them. There's a couple shots that'll look a little but they have a lot of time to put some polish on this, so I expect this movie to look pretty good by the time it drops. Hopefully. But this guy Patrick, I'm Patrick on Twitter. He seems like he's very knowledgeable, but he says, why does Superman look like that? Well, it's partially because Gunn and cinematographer Henry Bram shot with the Leica Tri-Elmar. It's a fairly obscure wide-angle photography lens that features 3 user-switchable focal lengths, 16mm, 18mm, and 21mm, all in one. Harkening back to what that lady said about, switching while the camera was going. He says, based on my own familiarity with the focal lengths, I imagine it's being used for these shots in the teaser. This wide angle look with the large format cameras like the Red V Raptor being used here is having a moment right now, but we haven't seen much of it in a big blockbuster or comic book movie like this yet. And I think that's what also, again, the vibes around this movie, it just has a very distinct look, and whether you like it or not, I feel like it looks different from majority of the comic book movies that are coming out. A lot of the stuff looks the same. And I think that's, for The Flash, one of the biggest redeeming qualities. I don't think that movie's that great, but one of the biggest redeeming qualities for me was the cinematography. And it just had a distinct look to it. And I think that's why I really like the Eternals, is it didn't look like other MCU movies. So it's just really great that this is gonna have its own identity in the superhero landscape, comic book movie landscape, and I really think that's what's gonna set it apart already from the stuff that's coming out. So if it's has that setting it apart, and then it's actually good on top of that, we might be in for something special, my boy. We might be in for something special. And this. Oh, I'll get to that explosion in a second. But this kid putting up the Superman flag, which seems like to think there's maybe a civil war going on. I think the country was Bolivia. Hold on. I think I have it in my notes. Bolivia. Okay, yeah. There seems to be something going on, a conflict. I think that might be one of the main plots of the movie, is Superman going to help out here, and he wasn't, regulated to, I guess. And so, he just comes in, and this kid just saying Superman, just quietly. And then, bro, that has potential to be something crazy. Just that kid just Superman, and then from wherever fucking Superman is, he hears that little whisper, bro. That they could do something crazy visually there, and just like that whole sequence. That's gonna be really interesting. So we get here, Superman being accosted by a bunch of civilians, and they're mad at him, and this guy throws a can at the back of Superman's head. That's so funny to me, bro. He just throws it doink just right off his noggin. That boy look at his face. He has some hatred behind that. Yeah, there's some real hatred going on. So I don't know why. So he seems to be beaten up a bit. And hold on. I'm just trying to make some connections here. Because in the beginning of the trailer, when we see him and he's messed up, his suit's not scuffed up like that. So this might be after the fight. I don't think we see it yet, but with the dragon here. Yeah, so this might be the fight with the dragon. And I've seen some stuff going around that said that'd be really fun if this dragon was actually Jimmy Olsen. Because he gets into stuff like that. Like he'll drink some weird potion or drink a weird potion or eat a weird fruit and then turn into a giant lizard or something. I feel like this is that fight, because I feel like the suit, that's like some, I mean, if you look like closely at the S here, I feel like that's a little melty right there. That could be after the fight, and so they could be possibly mad at him because he didn't kill that dragon or something, or maybe wasn't as lethal, and it maybe caused a little bit more destruction than it would have if you just took it out instantly. I'm not sure, but they're mad at him for some reason. I want to say I feel like that's after the fight with that dragon thing. And I really like how this could be for the detriment of the film, but I really like how there's multiple fights in this. That was kind of the wrong statement, but there's multiple conflicts. Like he's not just fighting Zod. He's not just fighting, one enemy. You see him fighting a dragon. You see him fighting Ultraman. He's probably going to come to blows with the engineer. He's probably going to, some type of confrontation with the LexCorp troops in the Lex like suits or whatever, power suits that we see later in a second. There seems to be, there's this giant floating orb. Like this could be for the detriment of the film, which I don't think it will be, because I feel like James Gunn is good at balancing a lot of things going on in his movies. But I like he's fighting a bunch of different enemies. I think that's really fun. We get a look at this shot. I really, really like this shot. Like what is this building? What is he contemplating over? What is he sad about? You see a regretful look. So this is Stag Industries. Does that have to do with steel? Like the guy in like the Iron Man-esque Superman suit? Does that have to deal with him? I'm not sure. But he has a very regretful look to him. And I really wonder, it has to be, I feel like it has to be he didn't like kill the dragon or something. Something's eating him up inside. So I'm very interested to see what that is. And we're about to get our first look at Guy Gardner here. He looks like a goofball, and I love it. But I really like the way Guy Gardner looks here, and just like this face of annoyance. So I'm not super familiar with Guy Gardner, but I just know that he's like kind of an asshole, and he's most people don't like him. He's very annoying from what things I've seen from him. Not like I'm saying, oh, this character's annoying. I mean, I am saying that, but like I don't find the character annoying. That's just how he's written. Yeah, so I think I don't know a ton about any of the Green Lanterns, but I probably know the least about Guy Gardner, honestly. But I just really love the face of annoyance here, and he's putting up some type of barrier from the civilians coming in, and he's walking in with Mr. Terrific and Hawk Girl. Which I'll be getting to them in a second, but he's putting up some type of barrier, and they're coming to talk to him about something. So I just, what is going on here? What's the speculation? Hold on. I feel like from Green Lantern's annoying look, Guy Gardner's annoying look, maybe they just cleaned up. Maybe they help him fight the dragon, and they end up killing it. And he's like, and they're probably coming in like, bro, what's up with you? What's up with you? And so, and the Justice League. Oh no, we it's the is it the Justice League or this is the JSA? No, I don't think the Justice League's formed yet. But whatever's going on is they're very corporate right now, and I feel like Superman's going to be the one to change that, and I think that's probably what's happening. He's going to inspire them to break off and do their own thing. Now I'm gonna do my own thing, Miles Morales type beat. So yeah, so oh, I didn't mention that explosion when I was talking about the kid, but that looked a little because I'm gonna get into like kind of the CGI. That doesn't look. Oh fuck. That explosion doesn't look super convincing to me. And again, they have a lot of time to polish, and that's what I mean. Like Hot Girl, she just looks like a full CGI model here. And I think that's really the only. Yeah, I'm excited to see all these characters again. It could be for the detriment of the movie, but I don't think so. Taking time away from Superman and whatnot. But I really think James Gunn knows what he's doing with dealing with multiple characters, multiple heroes and whatnot, and how to balance that well. And he also says, I'll get to when I talk about Mr. Terrific. So yeah, we get this like this orb guy. So I've seen some speculation. This could be the character Solaris or something. It's like a living sun or something like that. I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. But or there's this one time that Lex Luthor made the Fortress of Solitude sentient and I guess turned it into a monster. That could be also what's going on here. Don't know, but all I know is Superman's locked in with Lois Lane while people are getting fucking disintegrated, atomized, eviscerated. So I'm gonna need you to kick it into gear, buddy. But I seen someone float the idea on Twitter. Is like this could be, a point in the story where Superman maybe is losing some confidence, and he's just like, dang, maybe I don't have. Whoa! I just came up with the idea. Maybe this is like maybe a situation with the dragon, and he couldn't pull the trigger with defeating the dragon or handling it in a way that didn't cause a lot of casualties. I mean, this is still causing a lot of casualties. You're just chatting it up with Lois Lane, bro. But I get it. That's your boo. You're booed up. I get it. But maybe get out of just like a doubt of confidence. Like, dang, maybe I don't have what it takes to really be a superhero in this like day and age with like these more corporatized super heroes running around. But we get some Clois action and So here's Rachel Bronson's take on Clark and Lois. They're soulmates. They're united in the fact that they're both in the relentless pursuit of truth and justice, but they approach the world in totally different ways. She's somebody because of her profession, but also because of who she is. She questions everything. She questions everyone. She's trying to see around every corner, and that's the way that she faces the world. And Superman is just radically present in every moment. He solves every issue that's directly in front of him. I think the ways that they're opposite is something that is fun to watch. It's fun to watch them bump up against each other, and sometimes more than one way. Oh, hold on. She's kind of wilding for that, not gonna lie. And then it's fun to watch the way in which they really are united. They both work hard and play hard and love hard. I just really love her, again, understanding of Lois Lane as a character, getting more Superman moving towards the top of my superhero list in the previous in the years, in the last few years. She's become one of my favorite female like love interests, comparatively to like Mary Jane, Gwen Stacy, who's more some iconic ones. There's more out there, but you get what I mean. She's always written with a sense of urgency. Like she is. I think that's when she works the best, is when she is integral to what's going on in the story. And she always has that fire in her, and she's never really thrown to the side. And there's probably instances where she is, but I'm saying like, as in she doesn't let herself to be thrown to the side. Like she's on the front lines. She's on the forefront. She's running and gunning with Superman, with Clark Kent in the ways that she can. And probably gets in a little too over her head sometimes because of it, but hey, her boyfriend Superman. What are you gonna do? Smoke him? You're gonna smoke Superman? Yeah, right, buddy. But yeah, I really love Lois Lane as a character. And in James Gunn, he also says there's a video by Raiders Lost Pod. He wasn't just casting Clark Kent and Lois; he was casting Clois, so them as a unit. And I think somewhere in these articles that I was reading is that for the first time for his casting, process, he had them both come in I guess, audition together. And so it just really, I really, really hope, and I feel like we do get glimpses of it here, is we just really feel that bond between the two of them. So it looks like here that this is one of his, and I think this may be on the floor. This could be anything, but it might be a cape for the robot. So this is one of Superman's assistants in the Fortress of Solitude. And I really like how the Fortress of Solitude looks. I think we got like there was like this poster with it. It looks super different. I mean, it's still crystallized and stuff. That's my favorite like iteration of it. Which it usually is, but you know, sometimes it's not that big of a deal. But he has these robots in his Fortress of Solitude. I don't think we've ever seen that in live action. And so I think this one has a specific name, possibly like Kleex or something like that. And so Superman looks pretty torn up from he possibly dying. So there is this in the what's it called? In the previews in the movies, there's a couple new shots. There's a shot of Lex Luthor walking in the Fortress of Solitude with Ultraman, which we're gonna see a little in a second. The engineer. Yeah, so I think just them three. So they might come in and wreck shop. I'm not sure how they got the location on Superman, but he also has the same type of battle damage that we've seen earlier. So possibly from that dragon. And then when he was being confronted by Green Lantern, this man's kind of swole. You really do see that. I really like, I'll talk about the suit in a second. But so this could, yeah, so this is, I think James Gunn also said what we see in this trailer is there's a couple shots later, but this is pretty much like in the beginning. So and he also said, I think that this movie takes place over like a shorter period of time. I don't think like just in one day, but it's not going to be spanning weeks or months or, something like that. So Superman is probably not going to be having the greatest time during this movie, but he's still, I really still hope he's, and from what I've been reading, he's still going to be that beacon of hope though, while going through all these trials and tribulations. But yeah, he's holding some type of screwdriver, so I don't know what's going on there. But yeah, he's really gripping his hand like, that's my dog, not my dog, man. Like he's really tore up about that. And so yeah, we do get some. So what's happening here is this can't be the first formation of the Fortress of Solitude because you have these crystals protruding out the ground. This can't be. Yeah, is this like? Is it expanding? Because it does look kind of gnarly. The like poster that we see, if that is an official look, which I think it is, it does look kind of gnarly. So, do Ultraman and Lex and the engineer come and wreck shop? What is this? Oh, that's another crystal. I didn't know what that was right here. But do they come in and wreck shop and kind of destroy the Fortress of Solitude, and he has to kind of make a new one? And then I'm not sure how the Fortress of Solitude is made. Is that some type of Kryptonian mineral that can expand like this? Is this? Yeah, I don't think I've really ever looked into that to see how the Fortress of Solitude is made. It's just always kind of been there to me. But yeah, that's gonna be interesting to see. So and then we got a really good look at Metamorpho. I think that's his name. So he's like a guy that I think there was a radioactive meteorite and that like kind of. He can change the molecular structure of his atoms or something like that and to turn into different minerals and materials and whatnot. And so he's played by Barry. No. Who is he played by? Hold on, give me 1 second. Anthony Carrigan. I've only seen him in this. I was thinking of the show he was from, Barry. He's really funny in that. So I'm gonna really interested. And I've seen him. I've seen him in, multiple animated shows, but I think I really remember him from Batman Brave and the Bold. I could be wrong about that, but yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see how his powers look and how they're translated to film. I'm really liking the patterns on his face. He does kind of have that in let me look at his comic. He does kind of have that in his comic look, but they're kind of more, what's it called? What I'm trying to say, horizontal. And this is kind of just some swirly different patterns. So it's a really, really interesting look to him. So I'm very excited to see how his character is portrayed in the film. And I'm pretty sure he's more on the comedic side as a character. So we get this Lex looking mad as hell. So we get this building falling over. So hold on. Yeah, so we get this building falling over. So maybe whoa, that's actually a lot of destruction. So maybe that's what the people are mad at. Like, Superman, you let this happen. So maybe that's what they're mad at. Cause I think we do see Superman pushing this building. No. He's pushing the dragon off the building. So maybe that ends up what happening. He just knocks it down. But yeah, so this probably maybe this situation really shakes him up because we just see how like distraught he looks when he's getting accosted by those people, and then when Green Lantern comes. So yeah, I'm really excited to see the strength of Superman. Again, we saw him in a vulnerable state, but you know he's OP. He is Superman, so I really want to see how he looks at full strength, fighting someone that can take his power, not like take his power, but you know, has the physicality and the what's it called? What word am I looking for? The not endurance, but durability to withstand a super powered punch from the Man of Steel. This this shot is so funny to me. You just have Crypto dragging Superman, and so I don't. So maybe in context of the film, it won't be funny, but I feel like this is going to be played for comedic purposes. That was another thing. Another thing that I was really worried about for this movie is that I'll get into it, but the overall tone of this movie is just like James Gunn. He makes very comedic films and a lot of clips, a lot of jokes, and that doesn't necessarily fit Superman in my. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people feel that way. But James Gunn said this movie is it's serious, but let me go to the article. So James Gunn said, so for me, this is about coming at something from the inside. So how can Nicholas Hoult tell you what Lex is like? It's like he's coming from an interior place. It's not so different with the tone of the film. I know what it feels like to me. I know the texture. I know that it's something different than I've ever done before. But how can I translate that to you guys on the outside? Because I start with a place that's very hopeful, fun, but incredibly serious all at the same time. So with you know, it seems like he's taken a different approach tonally to this movie, which is perfect. But I really like how this movie is really challenging everyone involved, from James Gunn on a directing level, writing level. David Cornsweet said James Gunn gave him a note to work on his shoulders physically, but then also work on his vulnerability on camera. So we can get something super like that. The scene with Pa Kent where he grips him, bro, and he looks so disheveled. He looks so distraught. He looks so like there's so much anguish and worry on his face, and you just feel that without even knowing the context of the scene, hearing if there's a score playing, or just you already feel that with a out of context look at that performance in that scene. So I just really like how this is challenging everyone involved, and I really think that's gonna make it be a great or be a contributing factor on why this movie ends up being great. So yeah, this scene of Crypto just dragging Superman is just so funny to me. He's just limp body and just I'm really excited. I was talking about Superman's strength. I'm really excited to see Crypto's strength and how he gets down, and we get he has a little collar on this. I didn't notice that before. He has a collar, obviously, but he has like a little pendant on his collar, and you can see the yellow peeking out for his symbol on his cape. Yes. Oh, so that's their, I think, first look at Ultraman. Who is Ultraman? I don't know what he's doing. I've been hearing floating around that he might be a clone of Superman, and that's why he's like masked up like that. Is that leading into like Superboy or something? But I feel like he's pretty built, so I think he's like grown man status. So I don't think that's necessarily what's it called, a Superboy. But Ultraman, though, he's from the Crime Syndicate, so I don't know what they're doing here. Maybe just recontextualizing the character and just putting a different origin on him. But he's from the Crime Syndicate, which is an alternate universe where the Justice League are the bad guys and the bad guys are the good guys. So like Lex Luthor, Joker, and stuff, like they're all on the same team. And I feel like I don't know a lot about them, but I've watched the Crime Syndicate like movie or whatever. and they really function like a mob boss, or Ultraman does at least. So it's gonna be interesting to see, is this a clone of Clark, Superman? Is this Bizarro under the mask? Bizarro. Interesting. But yeah, they're fighting in the field. The action looks great. Mr. Terrific. So James Gunn, he stated that, let me pull it up. So in this article it says, according to Gunn, Mr. Terrific is the most important of the various supporting heroes in the film. And so James Gunn, he says, I love Mr. Terrific. These characters all get their moment in the sun. They all have their moments. They're not just cameos. These are the characters, the supporting cast, but Mr. Terrific is the main character of those characters. He actually has a big part of the plot. I don't know a ton about Mr. Terrific, but I do know that he probably is the most comic accurate looking character in this movie, and maybe comic book characters, movie characters in general, bro. His look is literally ripped from the comics, and I think it looks so great. That jacket, fair play, is just so hard body. I need that like to drop as merch or something, or someone whip it up. Custom made, bro. I'll shell out some good money to get that on my body, not gonna lie. But we're getting a look at his T-spheres here that he controls. Again, don't know a ton about him, so I don't know all the capabilities of these spheres, but they're putting up some type of force field, and it looks like maybe Lois is with him, and they're getting shot at by Luthor's troops in power suits. So I didn't even think about this. Are we gonna see Lex in his power suit in this? We have not seen that in a live action movie, so that would be primo. And I really like you could really see the purple on these and the green. So I hope we get something. It could be a little brighter. Maybe that'll make it look too cartoonish, but you could see them. So yeah, that's gonna be really interesting to see the power levels of these guys. Like, are these can they take a couple? I don't think they can go blow for blow with Superman, but can they take maybe a couple punches, or is he flicking them on their helmet and cracking their skulls? So that it's gonna be interesting to see the capabilities of these soldiers. Are they just stormtrooper fodder, or what's going on here? Yeah. So you really see that purple popping out. You see that green. Yeah. I'm liking it a lot. Kind of give me some like Doomslayer vibes. And so yeah, we get this, bro. Yes, this suit, bro. Oh, this suit is so freaking clean. The cape is just like the perfect length. Like when he's standing up, it's barely off the ground. Like the trunks look great, the boots, the colors, and so I'm pretty sure this is like iconic imagery of Superman and Lois having their flying kiss. I guess it's like kind of Spider-Man kissing Mary Jane upside down type beat, but. Bro, let's get into the suit really quick, honestly. So this kind of surprised me, but apparently James Gunn wasn't going to do the trunks for Superman, and he was just going to go trunksless. And that's surprising to me, because I thought he would just be on board to go trunks and just that campy look. But apparently it was David Cornsweet who convinced him to do trunks. So James Gunn said, David Cornsweet said something to me that really affected me. We were trying all these different versions, and we screen tested with trunks and no trunks. And one of the things David said is that Superman wants kids not to be afraid of him. He's an alien. He's got these incredible powers. He shoots beams out of his eyes, can blow a truck over. He's this incredibly powerful, could be considered scary individual. He wants people to like him. He wants to be a symbol of hope and positivity. So he dresses like a professional wrestler. He dresses in a way that makes people unafraid of him. That shows that. And I was like, that really clicked in for me. And I think trying to pretend that Superman's costume doesn't have some frivolity to it at its base, trying to make it look serious, is silly, because he's a superhero. He's the first one, brightly colored, and that's who he is. And so that's where we landed. And eventually we all came to a place where almost all of us agreed on the trunks. So yeah, that just... Bro, the suit, it really, really grew on me. I didn't hate it when I first saw it. The first look had me a little confused. I was like, I got to see a better image. But then, the set photos came out, and I didn't hate it. But this suit has really, really grown on me. I like it a lot. But like I said, my favorite suit is the Brandon Routh Kingdom Come suit that they showed in Crisis, one of the crossover Flash events in the Arrowverse or whatever. But I really like this shot of Lois and Superman spinning and kissing. And we get Superman flying out of the fire. Possibly this could be, I don't know. That could be a blend of something. Could this possibly be Superman flying out of the fight with the dragon and then going to the Fortress of Solitude or going to the courthouse or whatever? I'm not really sure because I feel like these are two different shots. Actually, no, you kind of see some fire at the bottom of this, so this it might be the same shot. And just, uh, oh my gosh, bro. And I even mentioned like you get people chanting Superman, Superman in this trailer at one point, bro. It's just so good. And there was like where's that flight scene? There's a flying scene. Is it no, that's hold on, let me find it. Actually, it's not in this teaser trailer, but in the teaser for the teaser trailer, which is baffling. There's a scene where he's flying in. It's really reminiscent of what we've seen in Man of Steel, and I guess James Gunn, he took inspiration from Top Gun Maverick to shoot these scenes. Let me pull up the article. So James Gunn said, "I wrote up this big document on action and what our philosophy is of action and how we shoot it and what it is, and keeping it alive in the air as well as on the ground." And being able to shoot stuff in the sky like that is really hard. So we took a lot from films like Top Gun Maverick. We shoot a lot of action with actual drones flying in and around Superman and the people that he's flying with. Engineer, whoever else that he's fighting up in the air. And we did that on sound stages. We got these really small, crazy drones now. We've got some of the best flyers in the world here who are working with it. And so we use those guys a lot, and everything's planned out with me, as it always is. All right, he's tooting his horn a little bit at the end, but again, just showing the preparation and what we can see from the action. And I don't know how Man of Steel, how they filmed it, but I hope we get some really, really good up in the air battles. So like just interesting. Like the action front on this is like it's whole different beast. Like you can have the tone for this movie be great. You can have the characterization be great. But if the action's not there, it's not gonna sell it all the way. If his powers aren't conveyed in a convincing way that looks good, it's not going to sell it all the way. And so from what we've seen and what I've been reading, we might be heading in that direction. I could be wrong. I could be wrong about all this. This movie could be terrible. Buns, hot dog water. But I feel like there are more signs pointing to it being great than there are it not being great, in my opinion. And so yeah, bro, I'm just insanely excited for this movie. I think that from the reception I've been seeing from nerds, myself, and just the general crowd, again, I have a small sample size, so I can't speak for everyone, but I feel like the public is very, very on board for this movie. And I'm not saying like everyone is on board right this second, but I feel like when we start getting more of the promo rollout and whatnot, people are going to be very, very willing to be they're going to be eager to see this movie, and they're going to be very accepting of it. And which is already baffling to me, considering like DC hasn't been on the greatest track record. Like, we just got the Penguin, the Creatures Commandos has been great, but cinema wise, it just has not been the greatest. The Batman, of course, but for every Batman, you get a Aquaman 2 or a what else dog shit came out, Shazam 2 or something. You get one of those, Joker 2. So for the public perception, DC hasn't been on the greatest track record. It's just really interesting to me is like how well this movie is being received so far. And the trailer, I mean, not the movie itself, but obviously not out. But it's just, this is beautiful to see. Just when the trailer dropped, seeing everyone just go crazy and just the vibes that it was just putting out, and just seeing everyone gravitate towards that. And then that, like, you get, just there's gonna be haters in general, but most of the hate I seen wasn't really valid. Like, it was dumb stuff. I seen someone say that, "Oh, bro, why is the trailer already in theaters? They're promoting this movie super hard." Yeah, you fucking idiot. They're promoting the movie. But I will say, it is kind of surprising that literally the trailer dropped, and then I went to see Sonic the same day, and it was in there. And I'm already, literally the next day or whatever, I was getting 15-second Twitch ads for it while I was watching, Twitch or whatever. So it already seems that they're putting a lot of a lot behind this film, because I forgot where I seen it, but James Gunn said if this movie doesn't do that, if this movie flops, we're not getting more of the DCU, which is that would be heartbreaking, because whether I'm excited for this movie or not, or James Gunn's new universe in general, which I am, I want to see DC stories. I want to see Wonder Woman. I want to see Flash. I want to see Batman. I want to see Superman. I want to see Aquaman. I want to see Green Lantern. I want to see all these characters on screen and the stories that they can bring to the table, and these is seemingly creatively, super creatively driven projects, and what they could do for the comic book movie genre. And since it's still doing well, but we've been getting some stinkers. I don't This year was pretty freaking bad for superhero movies. Like, Deadpool and Wolverine made like a Billy plus, but bro, that movie's kind of ass. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. Just the plot is just paper thin. It just really this you can fucking listen to my Deadpool and Wolverine review. But yeah, I don't think that's the greatest movie. We got Craven. We got uh, yeah, it hasn't been the greatest. Actually, hold on, let me look that up real quick. What were the comic book movies of 2024? Oh, that's what I was missing. Venom 3, that was buns and a half. So, Madam Web came out this year. That's wrong, right? That's not real, right? Madam Web came out this year. That doesn't even feel like that. Yeah. Well, Jesus. All right. Yeah, that's crazy. Oh, and then going back to the topic of hate, I was just seeing the hate that I was seeing was just super forced, and it was just rooted. It was just like I said, I liked elements of the Snyderverse, but it was just toxic Snyderverse fans just baselessly hating on it. And you can not like this, like that's totally fine. But it was just you could see that they weren't rooted in genuine criticism, but genuine. So that's why I looked at this tweet by Brendan Hodges his on genuine, like why this doesn't look the greatest. And there's obviously, worries of, not from him specifically, but he's talking more about the overall look and aesthetic, but and camera, but just there's just so many characters at play, and it seems like a lot's going on. So again, I feel like I would be more worried if this was anyone but James Gunn. I feel like for his pretty much this whole video has been just oh fuck. This whole video has just been insane James Gunn glaze, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you, which is it's kind of like sickening on my part, but it's just like, bro, if he has the sauce, he has the sauce, bro. What do you want me to do about that? He has the sauce, man. He has the sauce. He is the sauce, man. So, anyways, but back to this tweet from Brendan. He says, really unfortunate, a good trailer, maybe even a good movie, is hurt by the same bizarre aesthetic as The Flash, where a very wide angle lens and a roaming camera create a really uncanny and ugly combination, especially around the big VFX sequences. I'm excited, but it's a shame. Which, is perfectly valid. Like, if that look to The Flash, that's not everyone's cup of tea, but I just feel like it gives it a distinct flair from most comic book movies. So he continues to say, for years I felt Gunn will have to find a mature as a filmmaker in every sense to pull off Superman. But this aesthetic makes the action in the world feel unreal and fake rather than tangible or grounded. Like video game QuickTime events that cost $300 million. Maybe all this will work beautifully in context and it will turn out I'm wrong and the final grade hones in the style in a more pleasing way. The best thing I can say about this trailer is I'm genuinely really rooting for the final film to be great. Again, this is genuine criticism, but then he's also excited for the films. That's what I'm just saying. Like, people want this movie to be good, And I will agree on some of the action, because at first when I was reading that Quick Time Events statement, I was like, yeah. But then thinking back, like if you go back and we do look at the Hawk Girl sequence, that does look very Quick Timey event. And yeah, like looking more at it, like I do get that sentiment a lot, but I don't agree with that 100%, but I can definitely see where he's coming from. Like if we look at, yeah, I'm really only getting that type of quick time events vibe from this shot specifically, and maybe the shot where he's fighting Ultraman in the stadium. That could maybe give off quick time events vibes, but I think the best looking action sequence, but again, I feel like he's saying the camera work, but it also doesn't look that great CGI wise. But this movie's a well ways out, so they have time to perfect that easily. But I think the greatest looking shot, action shot, I should say, is when he saves the little girl. Because I think I didn't read this, but I didn't read a specific article, but to my knowledge, I think that was practical. And I think I heard it on the Weekly Planet when I was listening to their podcast. So I think they like did the effects of the things flying, and then they, I don't know what the right terminology is. Comp them in, yeah, whatever. Composite them in, maybe. But this, just the slow mo on it's just so good though. Like I could literally watch this all day. Like this movie really might be a all timer, bro. Like I really, really believe that. I really do, honestly. But yeah, that is I yapped for a very long time, and I'm glad I did. Honestly, I'm very glad I yapped for that long because I been thinking about this trailer nonstop, and I had to get my thoughts out. I don't know when the video will be out because I did yap for a minute, but this is just a breakdown, so I don't do any crazy edits. So I'm gonna try to get it out fairly quickly. But how do you guys feel about Superman? Do you guys think it's gonna flop? I think it's gonna I think it's again, I could be wrong, but I think it's gonna be a banger, like box office wise. I don't think it's gonna be a Billy banger. Could be, but I think this movie's at least, bro, is reaching 750, 800 million. At least. And again, numbers aren't everything. I just like, going over numbers, and it's just interesting to me. But I mean, it kind of hinges on numbers in this case. Numbers don't mark quality. Deadpool and Wolverine. Numbers don't mark quality, but to get more stories in this DCU universe, which I feel like has potential to be better than the MCU. If we want to see more stories in there, this movie's gonna need to do fairly well. I don't think it's gonna. I don't think. I'm trying to think like, what if it's not exactly a flop, but it like kind of barely breaks even. And we don't know the budget. It's been floating around that it was like a 360 million budget, which is insane. But James Gunn, he's come out and debunked that and said it's not that. So I don't think this movie, because the bigger budget you have, and some people know this already, but if the bigger budget you have, that's more money you're gonna have to make to get your money back. Whatever they put in, they usually say like times it times two, so 2.5 it for to break even. So if it was like 360 million, it would be what is the quick math on that? Sorry, times two, that'd be 720. So it need 720 million to just break even. And if it was 2.5 on that, 2.5, 900 million. So it needs nearly, if it was 360 million, it would need nearly $1 billion just to break even. That's not even profit. And so yeah, you don't want to skimp on the budget for this, but if it's anything higher than 200 million, I feel like that might be a problem. But I think this movie is going to do very well in the box office. I really hope it does, so we can see more of the DCU and what James Gunn has planned, because I feel like it's very, very what he's been talking about in the first, what's it called, announcement thing he did like a year ago. There's some interesting stuff in the pipeline that I really want to see, and that wasn't even everything. So yeah, what do you guys think about the Superman teaser trailer? Do you think this movie's gonna flop? Do you think it's gonna barely break even? Do you think this movie's gonna destroy the box office? What camp do you fall in? Because there's a lot of there's a lot of comp surrounding it too when it drops, because this drops July 11th, and I think maybe a week later or so, Fantastic Four drops, which I'm very looking forward to too. And so if they come out swinging, if Marvel comes out swinging with that, it's gonna have some good comp. And then on top of that, the new Jurassic World, which actually I haven't been interested in Jurassic World since the first one, not like the first Jurassic Park movie, but first Jurassic World movie. There's some I just really like. There's some Garth Edwards. I could be wrong, but is the guy who did 2014 Godzilla, which I like that movie, but I definitely Godzilla is sorely lacking, but he does scale really, really well. And so I really want to see, I'm interested to see how he does that with the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park, and then Mahershala Ali's in that, Scarlett Johansson. So there's a very good creative team behind it. So I'm interested in Jurassic World, but that being said, there's just a lot of comps surrounding it, and so this movie, if it's not a straight banger, it could possibly struggle at the box office. And I really don't want it to. And I'm not like shilling for fucking Warner Bros. Or something so they can make more money, but I want to see these creative stories told with these different DC characters. That's the place I'm coming from. But yeah, how do you guys feel about Are you hopeful if this movie will be good like I am? I'm really hopeful that it will be. Or are you like kind of more on the cynical side and like, this doesn't look that great? Or you have your reservations or whatever the case, let me know about down below. I'm very interested to see. I just really want to see what the reception is on this. I don't know how this video will do because I know it's going to be a bit longer. I've already been recording for I think 2+ hours now. So Jesus fuck, I'm gonna have to cut some stuff. Yeah, but yeah, what do you guys think? Let me know down below. Don't forget to drop a like and subscribe for more future videos, but I'll catch you guys in the next one. Twos, I am hungry. I just got off work and I instantly recorded this and I've been yapping for like 2+ hours. So yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Twos.